What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Friday, May 27th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, NBA playoffs. Let's take a look at this NBA showdown between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. So the super studs on the slate, we have Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler. So let's take a look at Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics. He's 11,000 DraftKings salary. He's averaging 47.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 36 minutes per game with a 32% usage rate. He scored 51, 52, and 21 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 44, 33, and 40 minutes. So I think he can score 50 plus fantasy points here tonight. I think he has the best chance at putting up a 50 plus fantasy point game. So I like Jason Tatum here versus the Miami Heat. Now let's take a look at Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. He's priced down a little bit. He's 10,200 DraftKings salary. He's been struggling a little bit the last 3 games, only scoring 33, 16, and 19 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 40, 27, and 19 minutes. But he's got 50 plus fantasy point upside. He's 800 cheaper than Jason Tatum. He averages 40.8 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 27% usage rate. But I do think I prefer Jason Tatum here over Jimmy Butler. So I would pay the 800 more to get Jason Tatum. So I like Jimmy Butler, but I like Jason Tatum more. Okay, then coming down in salary just a little bit here, only 400 less than Jimmy Butler is Jaylen Brown. He's from the Boston Celtics, and he's 9,800 DraftKings salary. He averaged 39.4 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 31% usage rate. He scored 36, 24, and 55 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 39, 29, and 41 minutes. Now, I think I would prefer to pay the 400 more and go Jimmy Butler if I'm going to go this route. But again, if you build your lineup and you have less than 10,200 for Jimmy Butler, you can go ahead and put in Jaylen Brown. He can flash that 50 plus fantasy point upside. More often than not, he's going to score somewhere around 35 fantasy points, 35 to 40 fantasy points. But I like Jaylen Brown here versus the Miami Heat. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, now coming down in salary even more, you got Al Horford for 8,200 DraftKings salary, and he's playing super well in the playoffs. This is probably one of my favorite plays on the slate. He scored 38, 34, and 50 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 39, 33, and 41 minutes. So I think he can score between 35 to 40 fantasy points here. I think he's got possibly a better upside than Jaylen Brown at only 8,200 DraftKings salary. So I like Al Horford here versus the Miami Heat. And then my man, Bam Adebayo. You know, this guy he's got some monster upside, but he has really been struggling through the playoffs, so it's understandable if you don't trust Bam. And at this point, he's 8,000 DraftKings salary, where Al Horford is only 8,200. So unless you're going to play both of them in your lineup, I prefer Al Horford over Bam. But Bam Adebayo has averaged 40.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 33 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. He showed a little bit of life last game. He scored 35 fantasy points in 38 minutes. And he's projected at 40.8 fantasy points here tonight. Now, technically, Bam should have more upside than Al Horford, at 200 less. So I would say play Bam. But I've been hammering Bam all playoffs long, and he's really burnt me outside of that 64 fantasy point game. I'm not going to give up on Bam Adebayo. I do still think he makes a sneaky captain spot because he could go off and put up 50 plus fantasy points and set your lineup away from the pack like he did 3 games ago when he scored 64 fantasy points in 41 minutes. So Bam does have some monster upside. He's just been struggling. It's hard to trust him. So I like Bam Adebayo as a way to mix up your lineup here. I do prefer Al Horford, but I like Bam Adebayo for his upside if he can get his game together here versus the Boston Celtics. Okay, now what a poor performance from this player last game. How do you score 0 fantasy points, or was it -2 or something? It was pretty bad in 24 minutes. Kyle Lowry at 6,200 DraftKings salary. Now, after that performance last game, I don't think many people are going to trust Kyle Lowry here tonight. So again, that makes him an interesting play. He did score 16 and 29 fantasy points in the 2 previous games, playing 21 and 29 minutes. So high risk, high reward play here. Going to be hard to trust him, but he could go out there and put up 30 plus fantasy points and find his way into the winning lineup. Sometimes you want to be contrarian, and this would certainly be a contrarian play. Okay, now the injury news here. You got to keep an eye on Tyler Hero. He's missed the last 2 games. He's 6,000 DraftKings salary. If he does play this game, I think he's a pretty good play at 6,000 DraftKings salary. If he plays 20 to 30 minutes, I think he could get 25 to 35 fantasy points and hit value. And possibly at a low ownership because people are, worried about him coming off of that injury. They don't know, a lot of unknowns there. So if Tyler Hero does play, I think he's a good tournament play. If Tyler Hero doesn't play, that opens up some minutes for Duncan Robinson and Caleb Martin. Duncan Robinson has scored 21 and 25 fantasy points in the last 2 games with Tyler Hero out, playing 27 and 23 minutes, and he's still only 3,000 DraftKings salary. And then Caleb Martin has scored 17 and 22 fantasy points in the last 2 games with Tyler Hero out, playing 15 and 24 minutes, and he's only 1,200 DraftKings salary. So those are your 2 bargain basement plays there that are actually putting out some pretty good fantasy point production. So if Tyler Hero is out, I think you got to get one of these guys into your lineup.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on.
Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at some mid-range plays here between 4 and 5K. You got Victor Oladipo at 5,200 DraftKings salary. He scored 11, 39, and 15 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 15, 30, and 20 minutes. So he's a wild card. he could go out there and put up 30 plus fantasy points, or he could go out there and put up 10 fantasy points. But he's only 5,200, so I think he makes a good filler player just to save some salary in your lineup. So I like Victor Oladipo here versus the Boston Celtics. And then for the Celtics, at 5,000 DraftKings salary, you have Grant Williams. He scored 13, 16, and 21 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 23, 36, and 39 minutes. So his minutes came down a little bit last game, and just got to be careful. Take a look at Robert Williams. It looks like he got some extra minutes last game. Played 26 minutes, scored 27 fantasy points. So it looks like Robert Williams may take away from some of the value from Grant Williams. So at 5,000 DraftKings salary, I think I would prefer Victor Oladipo at 5,200. But if you need to save some more salary here, take a look at PJ Tucker at 4,400 DraftKings salary. He's another guy that you never know what you're going to get. Could go out there and score 8, or he could go out there and score 30. Really tough to know. So he scored 26, 9, and 36 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 31, 21, and 37 minutes. So I think he's a fine value play. PJ Tucker at 4,400 DraftKings salary. And then you got Gabe Vincent from the Miami Heat at 4,000 DraftKings salary. He scored 22, 21, and 9 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 23, 26, and 19 minutes. Now, if I have the extra 400 and I only have 4,400 left, probably go with PJ Tucker. But if I find myself in a situation where I got like 4,000 left over and 1 spot to fill, then that spot's going to go to Gabe Vincent, who's been playing pretty well the past couple of games. If he can get 23 to 26 minutes like he has the last 2 games, he could score 20 fantasy points or more and hit value. So it just depends on how you guys build your lineup in this single game slate. These showdowns, you know, they're super volatile. Any given night, any player, and you don't have a lot of players to pick from. There's only a certain amount of ways that you can build your lineup here. But stay tuned to the end of this video. We're going to build a good lineup.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video, or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.